can see it as a classic structure in Iloilo. I think it would stand the test of time. Like maybe it would be a heritage house in the next few years or few decades. We're just people who are simple and who wanted to showcase our Filipino heritage. We just have a small collection of art that we wanted to showcase to our children. It's not really for other people, but it's more of for our family.
Hello, welcome to our Kakaibahay.
Iloilo is proud of its old past. There are still a lot of preserved houses here. So we went around and she liked the Old Jaro Municipal Station. The design was based on her want. Just wanted a home that is functional, quiet, and most of all, good ventilation because I have atopy. So I want the house to be cold, traditional cold.
Most of our pieces here in the house are mostly made of materials from the Philippines. For example, the machuca tiles, the pieces of furniture, the deco-styled chandeliers or the twist lamps that we incorporated. The art pieces are all from Iloilo artists. We wanted to merge Filipino heritage and our personal family history. We wanted every piece of our house to have a story of its own. So that's very important to us. Our family heritage that we would pass on to our children. We wanted them to appreciate our Filipino culture and heritage. We had this Singer sewing machine turned or transformed into a console table. It dated back to the 1920s, which belonged to my great-grandparents from Batangas. We somehow adaptively reused that old Singer sewing machine. So it's a representation of old and new because we were able to use that piece to suit the modern times. Actually, the theme or the story of our house is bringing back the 1920s into the 2020, 100 years apart.
I more focus on the function of the house. I make sure it's strong, can stand earthquakes, calamities, and most of all, it's functional in a way that I wanted a house to be somewhat self-reliant and reliable. Number one, I wanted a reliable water source. Number two would be, I wanted the house to be cool because, as I've said, I have atopy when I'm subjected to heat.
Wall panels that we used, instead of using the conventional concrete hollow blocks, we did use special materials. It is called autoclave aerated concrete or AAC blocks. It is a German technology material. Madami kasi siyang benefits. It's easier to install. So another benefit is soundproof or sound insulation. Also, meron din siyang insulation properties na lessen the heat gain sa loob ng bahay. It eliminates cracks. It's a more sustainable approach to the conventional hollow blocks.
Every part of the house is my favorite, but it would be my personal library. One of my non-negotiables was to have my own personal space. I'm also a writer and a poet, and I wanted my own space wherein I can write something that would inspire me, that would be very comfortable, where I can have my own breathing space. The concept of this library is to combine art and books. The books were incorporated into the design as well as the various art pieces, mostly made by Ilonggo artists.
My favorite place in the house, one would be the family room where I watch movies and do my daily exercises. Number two would be the garage because it's where my toys are, and I'm an outdoor person and I love to tinker with my bikes.
For me personally, my favorite would be the living area and the gallery hallway. I'm also like a fan of art collecting. So doon ko yung nakikita yung mga collections ni Doc Elvie. So I was really inspired by her collections. So siguro yung naging basis namin rin on how we can translate it. Yung parang yung feels niya is you're in a museum. Sa living area, it's like a collection of Filipino artistry. We can see Vito Selma pieces there and the sentimental antique pieces of Doc Elvie's family. We really love history, so mas naging easy yung process. Siguro yung interest, yung excitement, mas dun yung pumasok sa design process.
Transitioning from an open, high ceiling, wide space into a more intimate and more closed space, which is the dining area. The feeling that you get when you walk past that hallway is something that you wouldn't experience in other houses. And then the last area that I like, it's an area outside the master bedroom's toilet. At first, it is
May
just
balcony.
fire exit area. Doc JP and Doc Elvie also noticed that the area is a good place to have a mini balcony. We didn't expect it to be an additional space sa bahay. It's a surprise.
Also, I think my favorite part would be our collaboration between the clients, between Doc JP and Doc Elvie. It was really a breeze to work with them. I think our roles really fit each other. See, I'm more on the creative side, and I was working closely to Doc Elvie. And Carl is the technical side of the studio, so he's working closely with Doc JP. I
Yeah.
think it's the synergy and the collaboration that we've come up with this very successful project.
Instead of having a carpet for the individual spaces, you try to enclose that space so as to mark this as the living area. There is a black border surrounding the machuca tiles. And then when you go into the middle, there is also some black tiles which would lead into the dining room. So there seems to be a natural flow from the doorway going to the dining room, and you will pass along the gallery hallway. So I think that was an important strategy of the architects in zoning. So they were able to divide the space as well. When I entered the big doors, there was a rush of gratitude, of God's faithfulness within my life. And at that time, it was also during the pandemic, and it was befitting because all of us, we were just inside the house, and here we have this house that is very, not really perfect, but it's perfect for our family. So the concept of cocooning during the pandemic was very appropriate because we just wanted to stay in our own house and not go out since it's pandemic. The timing was perfect. There's a sense of gratitude that washed me through.
The gratitude and the realization that if you work hard, it's worth the hard work. And you can see the fruits of your labor.
Maybe a few more years, a few more decades, I can see it as a classic structure in Iloilo. I think it would stand the test of time. Like maybe it would be a heritage house in the next few years or few decades. We are not very intimidating or we're not very elegant people. We're just people who are simple and who wanted to showcase our Filipino heritage. And we just have a small collection of art that we wanted to showcase to our children. It's not really for other people, but it's more for our family.
No one would think na having striking colors and dark colors would seem cozy, pero para sa akin sobrang cozy nung feeling ng ganito habang nandito ako sa loob ng bahay.